Welcome to the Xmas end of year edition of All Vaults Unlocked, your podcast destination for your trophy and achievement hunting needs. Now, this will be a longer episode than usual because we do have a guest later on during this episode, and I'll let Brady tell you who that is.
It is El Platinimbro himself.
He's in the green room right now, as you can see, just patiently waiting. We're getting to a meaty discussion about everything, what he's been doing, and of course the main topic, we touched on that a bit, which is, are platinums getting too easy? Are they just not worth hunting these days? The developers are just not giving us the incentive who want to go for a challenge. But we'll get into that later on. It's a juicy subject and we'd like to hear your thoughts about it as well, so don't forget to put them down below. But as always, we're going to jump straight into this. Of course, we didn't have a November episode because our schedules did conflict a bit, but we're getting into segment 1 already, which is what we've been hunting. We're going to gloss over this because again, this is a longer episode than usual, but we'll still give you the deets. I think I'll start because mine's smaller than Brady's over here, so we'll just zoom through it. If you watched my previous video, you know I've been playing a lot of Lies of P, which is a Souls-like based around the world of Pinocchio. And I absolutely bloody adore the thing. If you didn't watch my video on why it made me realise I should not pay attention as much to trophy guides because it almost made me not play the game, go and check it out. It's an interesting thing. I had a few salty people who clearly just didn't like the fact I thought I was attacking trophy hunters. It's like, no, trophy guide writers. Like, no, I've written guides myself. I'm not attacking anyone at all. I just think it's a way to, you know, check yourself and be like, right, am I actually hunting games the right way or am I ruining my experience? But Lies of P, as I said, is a Souls-like experience loosely based around the tale of Geppetto and Pinocchio, with hints of Oscar Wilde's novel The Picture of Dorian Gray mixed in there. But I remember when I first played this at Platinum Bros' house, to be fair, if we're going to bring up the guests in the green room right now. Me and Joel played it, Guy Fruski, and we both were like, this feels like Bloodborne. The gameplay feels similar, the vibe, the atmosphere. And I've been really wanting to play it ever since. Now, the gameplay feels very similar, yet evolved. You have the ability to block, of course, and parry, as opposed to, say, like Bloodborne, where you just, if I remember rightly, you couldn't block. And you can also dismantle non-special boss weapons into their hilt and blade components, so you split the weapon in two. But this allows you to combine them to create dynamic weapons. So if you want a great sword blade, a one-handed hilt, say for more mobility, and you can swing faster, but you want the power of a proper great sword, it works brilliantly. And it also allows you to make almost countless combinations with the corresponding Fable Arts that are assigned to both the blade and the hilts as well, because Fable Arts are sort of special abilities. Think of them as an ability like in a Pokemon game. You can activate these using your Fable energy, and if you combine these hilts and blades, you can essentially get the perfect kit and layout for your playstyle, which I believe is absolutely brilliant. Now, of course, in the game, you do fight other puppets and a decent array of enemies, from the puppets themselves to disgusting, horrible monsters, which I believe used to be the inhabitants of the sea. Not to mention the meat of these games in the first place, the epic boss battles. There is plenty of sub-boss battles to big ones. You just can't get enough. I won't say it's overly hard as a game, but it definitely punishes you if you take a misstep, so I'll say how much at least. But the fights are still fun while they last, and the boss designs are absolutely outstanding half of the time. It's definitely up there with the massive awe of Souls-like games. We're like, wow, that looks like a badass, and I'm crapping myself right now. And last thing I'll say about it, they did add a story mode and an easy mode in a patch, which did reduce the gameplay experience, but we'll talk about that later on. I'm not playing on that mode because it just wouldn't feel authentic to the game, but they did do that, and we'll talk about that in the main topic. But other than that, the other game I've been playing this month, and past 6-7 weeks really, is Power Wash Simulator, because sometimes you need a game to play in the background. And with the second game releasing, and with this being technically free, I was like, let's just go try it. You know, I'll spray some water, spray my stuff all over the place. You know, nothing new really. I will say, for me, it's a game that's relaxing as you'd expect, but also infuriating. I say that because it's almost an OCD thing. You're cleaning bits bit by bit, and once you get closer to 100%, you start getting almost irritated. At least I do. I don't know if that's an ADD thing. I start feeling that rising anxiety where I'm like, oh, I just want to get this finished, and then I want to do another one now. And the same cycle repeats. But it's still good for watching YouTube in the background when you're playing the game, so I can't really say much else other than that. But the Platinum, there is a few trophies left, like Challenge Mode, which is rather fast, and completing the job by 95% without completing a single part of the job at any one time, and of course the final mission. Overall enjoyable game, but it's definitely a background player. I have played other games here or there, but nothing worth really mentioning yet, but I'll probably talk about those in some videos upcoming. But that's enough about my derpy ass. How about you, Crimson Purgatory?
Well, before anything else, this is my jolly face, guys. Had to Christmas it up. Had to Christmas it up, you know, because this guy over here, this part-timer, he doesn't want to Christmas things up. I mean, he's wearing the colors, I guess.
Red and black. You'll see some green in here, I'm sure, as well, somewhere. I mean,
Perhaps on the green screen, who knows? But yes, like
I don't have the bastard. I don't know where it is. I can't find it in green. That's not green, but it'll do. That's Christmassy.
That's green in his color blindness mode.
It is, yeah. That's green to me. Now, I identify that as green. Anyway, carry on, Lord Vader.
But yes, on my side, I've been spending most of my time on sort of like 2 games. Although my gaming this year has been pretty atrocious, which you will find out about.
I found green. I'm sorry.
I had to stop there because of that. He found a little bit of green.
There you go. That's my Christmas colours. I'll put
Mission
that.
accomplished. He found his green.
I'm hoping that's empty. I'm putting it upside down in my pocket. There you go. That's my Christmas cheer right there. Green, red, and black. Christmas, right? Apologies.
But yeah, my gaming this year has been pretty atrocious. You might find out about that next year in a wrap-up video if I convince myself to do it. I'm sure my partner in crime here will kick my arse until I do it. But hey, maybe you'll find out. But I've been sort of focused around a couple of different games. One of them has been from a franchise I quite love and is very dear to my heart. And that is my time at Sandrock, plus its online variant. The game's not overly difficult. It's around a 3 out of 10, 100 hours, single playthrough. You're a new workshop builder recruited to the town of Sandrock to replace their resident builders decided to retire from the field and leave the desert because, you know, who doesn't want to live in a desert? I mean, it's warm, there's so few trees, you're dying of heat stroke, there's sandstorms.
Hold on there, Anakin. You're wearing Darth Vader clothes right now. You're saying who wouldn't want to live in the desert? Anakin Skywalker. I mean, this is just totally like contradictory to your entire experience. You hate sand. Sorry,
I do hate sand. I'm just going there for work, you know? It's professional. It's professional, damn it.
Got to earn the door.
But yes, as the builder, you're responsible for making and taking commissions for the town and all of its citizens, allowing you to advance the town, make it prosper, bring the townland of Sandrock into a more prosperous situation. Overall, the game has a very fun story and gameplay loop, at least in my opinion. It's littered with side quests, which are both directly linked to the story, your advancement as a builder, but also the characters that you'll meet in the game. And honestly, the experience is just beautiful and you'll enjoy every second of it. The other game I've been spending the majority of my time with is a good old Game of the Year winner that we all know and love. Baldur's Gate 3. 7 out of 10, 120 hours, and 2 playthroughs. That's bull. Unless you're sitting there with an absolute step-by-step guide of do this, say that, say this to this person, shag that girl, don't shag that girl. Unless you're sitting there with something like that, this ain't happening in 2 playthroughs. I'm telling you that now, because I've only done 1 playthrough, and there's still so much to do. But yeah, I've been working on this game with my friend Raven. We've been trying to get some of the stuff done, and we've literally, after Lord knows how much time, finally finished our first playthrough, and are working on our second one for our tactician mode playthrough, which is supposed to be one of the harder challenges of the game and why it's a 7 out of 10 experience. But yeah, in this playthrough, we've also been working on a couple of miscellaneous trophies, a couple of like the difficulty ones that would make us have to do very specific runs. Some of these include under lock and key for, like I said earlier, having to rescue a lot of prisoners. The last trophy that we hope to get is similar to that one, Fancy Footwork, where we need to defeat Lord Gortash in Worm's Rock without activating or triggering any of the traps. This fight in our first playthrough was a massive headache, and every damn trap and explosion in the place went off at once, pretty much, and yeah, we have to try and do this without triggering a single one. Yeah, good luck with that.
I can tell you one thing as well, when it comes to traps and Dungeons and Dragons, get used to it. Yeah, I played a lot of Neverwinter. Well, I played 10 hours. And those 10 hours, I saw many different...
Trying to make me spit up the coffee.
Many different traps. Tomb of the Nine Gods, a brilliant example right there. It's one of those where you literally necessary to avoid plenty of them. Anyway, it's time for the segment number 2, which is the newer departing games to Extra, which is an exciting month because we get quite a lot this month. What's happening to my bloody apple? Get back in there. My apple's trying to escape. My green is trying to run away. Can't be allowing this. I think I'll let Brady kick this one off because we've got a very plasticky, painful game to start off with.
Well, plasticky, but not as painful. We've got Lego Horizon Adventures on the PS5, a 2 out of 10, 20 playthroughs? 20 hours and a single playthrough. It would be painful if it was 20 playthroughs, but yeah, what can really be said about this? It's another Lego game. It's the same formula. You know it, you love it, or you hate it, or you don't. I can't really comment too much because to this date I still haven't played a single one yet. Insert gasps here, insert rage in the comments. There'll be something. Someone will have a problem with me saying I've not played a single Lego game. I will say this much. This sure as hell won't be the first one I play because I have not played any of the Horizon games yet. Insert another audible gasp. Look at the look on his face.
Thumbnail face right here.
He's horrified at that fact. So it's a spin-off game from the franchise where you get to travel along with Aloy in a world of colorful blocks and colors with a reinterpretation of the events of Zero Dawn. So maybe when I play the first game, I can touch this if I ever play the first game.
But the next game is a game I'm slightly familiar with. Killing Floor 3. You'll shoot zombies and other infected creatures, handle aggressively large and crazy bosses, and keep taking down hordes wave after wave. It'll be that type of game, I'm guessing, unless they've massively changed the formula. And having a look at the trophy list, the hardest trophies seem to be defeating some of the bosses on Hell on Earth difficulty and reaching level 30 with any particular role. So it doesn't look too bad, it's just more of a play on hard mode, which is easier in co-op, and just grind to level 30.
Next up, we have The Outlast Trials for PS4 and PS5, a 3 out of 10 experience, 25 hours worth of playtime, and a diabolical 40 runs to get this platinum. I, of course, have yet to complete any of the Outlast games, much to my extreme shame and dismay. There's not a lot of times where I feel shame, such as Horizon and Lego and things like that, but I do feel a lot of shame for Outlast, and I can see Steve's finger up.
Have you played or completed anything at this point, Brady Barra? Is there literally anything you've played or completed?
I swear there is.
Like shake my green at this point.
I swear there is. Like I said, I feel a lot of shame for not having completed this game because I love horror. I'm the granddaddy of horror games, for God's sake. So the fact that I haven't completed this game, it's a sin. It's a crime that I have to fix, especially because I really want to try out that Outlast 2.
The next game is something I've actually got to read the doc because I would easily mess this word up. Singularity Echo of Ada. It is on the PS5. It has got no guide again, at least not on PSMP. It's a 1.99% ultra rare, though, if you really want it. I had a look at the trailer of this, and it is very, very weird. It appears to be an anime extraction shooter themed around mechs, so it's PvPvE, so other players and the environment. The trophies don't seem that difficult, they just seem like a grind. For example, you've got to defeat 8,000 of a specific enemy, you've got to use a major skill 1,000 times, which I believe is your mech, and you've also got to deal 5 million damage, which, yeah, it sounds like a grind, so that's all I can say about it. Some of you might like it, some of you might not. But next up, we have...
It's a little game called Neon White for PS4 and PS5. An 8 out of 10 difficulty game. Hallelujah, hard games actually bloody exist again. 40 hours and 6 runs. Look, even Steve's shocked. There's hard games. Oh my God.
Main topic.
Coming soon to a video near you.
This video in particular.
This game is very easy to start, but goddamn that difficulty curve is rather steep, and it will get gradually harder and harder as you play it, especially with its focus around speedrunning as its core mechanic. The entire aim of the game is to just, well, clear the levels, defeating all the demons in them. But you have to do it as fast as humanly possible. Your reward and score will be determined on your performance and the time that it takes you to do it.
But it's time for the news and all other business. But of course, there is no news this time other than the Game Awards of 2025. Now, of course, Expedition 33 has won a staggering 9 awards, which is, I think, more than any more in the history of the show, which is absolutely insane. Brady, however, is a bit not happy about a certain aspect he'll probably tell you briefly of.
Yeah, so I'm officially done with the Game Awards. I watch it for one reason and one reason only, which we're going to touch on a little bit here shortly. But this has been a very strong year for JRPGs and for the genre as a whole. And once again, they have been snubbed by Jeff Keighley at his awards show and just been denied any nominations in any categories at all. I'm not saying that these games deserved Game of the Year. I'm not saying that Expedition didn't deserve them. But what I'm saying is games like Digimon Story Time Stranger, which is still, to this day, the second highest rated Metacritic game from the user score, right behind Expedition 33, not a single mention or nomination. It's criminal. I'm saying it's borderline racist at this point because plenty of RPGs, but just no JRPGs. And it's been one hell of a year for that genre, so I'm kind of done with the show because I don't like this disrespect when a game is actually genuinely good.
Strong words there from Brady Barra, but I kind of agree. I'm guessing Digimon just wasn't paying enough to get on the Game Awards and Jeff Keighley's show, because they do charge a pretty penny to get on there, for trailers at least. I don't know what they charge for nominations. Probably nothing, because nominations, but who knows these days. I remember I lost all respect when Hogwarts Legacy situation, they would not put on any awards because I believe they were concerned about backlash at the time because of the controversy around the politicalness around the game and stuff, and that made me lose all respect. It's like, it's a game. These developers put their heart and soul into it. You should put it on there if it deserves it. And it sold the best that year, if I recall correctly. It sold tons. But like we said, we do still like it for the trailers because unfortunately it's a destination for trailers. And one that was quite a few surprises, but I'll start with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is back with A Legacy of Atlantis, which is a remake of the original Tomb Raider game. Now, when this first came up, it said Amazon Game Studios, and I was like, oh no, they're going to ruin the franchise. But then I forgot, I remembered. They own the franchise now, so Crystal Dynamics are still making it as far as I know. It's in safe hands. They've just got Amazon money, which shows because they're making a sequel, continuation to the franchise. At the same time, it shows you where the money goes. The game looks beautiful. I will say that at least. And more importantly, this seems like it's definitely going to be canon with the Survivor trilogy as they unify the Croft games together. So the old series, the Legend series, which is obviously Underworld and such, and the Survivor trilogy most younger gamers know of when Lara Croft is finding out who she really is and that she is the Tomb Raider. But it does say in the actual trailer, and I quote, "It's been years, but the events are still etched in my memory." And in the Catalyst trailer, it goes on to say, "The entire world knows your legend. You crossed the threshold to Atlantis," which of course is a reference to this game because it's Atlantis, Legacy of Atlantis. That's what they're naming the first game now. It's pre-alpha, but as I said, the game looks absolutely beautiful, and it kind of makes sense now how they're trying to be like, these past events of canon, the first game, second game, Underworld, etc., are all now canon, and they're meshing together, which I absolutely adore. And again, that's coming in 2026, so we're going to get it sooner rather than later. And for the pre-alpha stage, it looks absolutely bloody beautiful, and I can't wait. And Sarah can't wait either. She loves Tomb Raider, and she's been dying over these announcements, I'll tell you that much at least. There is also Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is the continuation. It's set years after Tomb Raider Underworld, and we're finally going to see what happens next in Lara Croft's story. And again, you don't see much of this game, but it still looks badass. And it's due in 2027, and I simply cannot wait for more Tomb Raider.
Next up, we have one of the big daddies of the show, Larian's next game, Divinity. Just Divinity. No extra parts to it, just Divinity for now. They say, and I quote, "This will be their biggest game yet." And yes, that means even bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. And oh my god, that trailer was absolutely bloody heaven. If the game is half as graphical as that trailer, my god, I'm going to spend all my time on Divinity. There'll be no other game that year. It will be Divinity, 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 with a side of Divinity, with extra divinity.
That's a lot of divinity right there, Brady Barra. I will say that was one of the Wicker Man statues, wasn't it? They were burning that dude inside the Wicker Man statue and all that. It looked really good. It was a CGI trailer, naturally. They did say that, but I agree. If it looks that good, I looked at the divinities because I own a few of them. And I was like, oh, it's those games. They look really good, to be fair. At first, I thought it was Dragon's Dogma, and I was like, those games look janky. At least the first one did, and it's not. I got it mixed up.
The Wicker Man part, that's very memorable, yes. Other things that might be memorable, I've seen a lot of people commenting on, was someone was very much enjoying a lizard ride. That's one way to ride a lizard, is all I can say.
Hopefully lizard penis is not like cat penis. I mean, that'd be very painful, but, you know, some people are into that, so, right. However, 007 First Light, we saw a bit more from that. We saw a little, like, 1-minute trailer. Not much to see. If you've already seen a gameplay trailer from 3 months ago, you already saw more back then. And if you haven't, I recommend going watching that. It looks brilliant. I almost think it looks like a slightly more aggressive Hitman game, but you'd expect that because it's from IOI. It's their bread and butter, and I've got no problem. I've always said, and I think many people have as well, IOI's gameplay of Hitman fits perfectly with James Bond or any 00 game because you're literally a spy with disguises, going in there, beating people up, taking people out, assassinating. That is Hitman. So just to take the IP of James Bond and Ian Fleming's work and apply it to IOI's gameplay formula, I think that's brilliant, and I think it will do absolutely great. I'm not going to say I'll pick up day one because I've got a backlog as long as my arm, not to mention even trophies on top of that, but it's a game I will eventually be gagging to play when my own schedule lines up with it. But there's also been The Lords of the Fallen 2, which I'm sure Brady will be very happy about.
Obviously, you guys know I'm extremely hyped for this game. Having already mentioned my enjoyment of the original game previously on this podcast, returning to its world in the sequel is a must-have experience for me. Though I still have to play the remake of the game first, just so I can see if there's any fundamental changes to the story that exist that I need to be aware of, just so I can be fully immersed in the story and the game to its core when I do finally jump into the second game after it comes out. Because it may actually be a day one for me, depending on how I feel about the remake. Day one games, they come and go for me. I don't get a lot of them. Because like Steve, my backlog is as long as 20 of my arms. And 20 of his arms probably put together, to be honest. Yeah, it's a long backlog. So if I get
I wish something else was long. Yeah, I'll say how much at least. But Lords of the Fallen aside, there was a Capcom game. I'm not talking about Resident Evil 9. It looks brilliant, but Brady Barra, guess what? He's not played Resident Evil 8. It's just another game he hasn't played yet. Just one more. He's played 7. He's not played 8.
I knew that was coming. I knew it. Just because of the meme from earlier, I knew it was coming. I was hoping it wouldn't, but I knew it was coming. But yes, Pragmata, which is probably one of my, if not the most anticipated game after Resident Evil, of course, for next year. From the makers of Resident Evil to Dino Crisis to Dragon's Dogma, and for my future, Devil May Cry, another set of games I've not played. Steve's adding it to the list. Steve's added it to the list.
I think I've had a stroke.
Furuski Sensei is probably disowning me right now. I'm losing a lot of friends just from these words alone. But I can't really wait to get into this experience. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. There is a demo available for the game now, but I'll be probably avoiding that in all honesty, because I want to sit and sink into the game and just play it from start to finish as soon as it comes out.
The Fate of the Old Republic, a game series near and dear to my heart. I bought an Xbox back when I was probably 2004 when the first one came out, was it? A bit earlier, around that time when the game came out, KOTOR. I was literally in my teens. I went, got the money, bought an Xbox just for that. Yes, Halo was fun too, but I bought it just for Star Wars The Old Republic, or Knights of the Old Republic specifically. And then I played the second game too, which was by Obsidian, which wasn't as good, but still good. And then they did a SWTOR, Star Wars The Old Republic, which is the MMO, which is also played that for a while too. This is the genesis of the modern BioWare RPG, in my opinion. Well, the old modern now, because obviously they made older games. I think did they make Baldur's Gate? I think they did. It's been too long. You have to fact check me on that. They made a few classic RPGs before it, but the first modern RPG I think they made was The Old Republic. That's the Old Republic. And they kind of fell off from that point. They didn't make the second game because Obsidian took it up, and again, they kind of rushed it. It was still good, just the story wasn't there for me as much. And it inspired Mass Effect. The series we all love so much was inspired by the fact that the original team who made KOTOR came over and like, right, we want to do a game like this, but we ain't got the Star Wars IP. Let's make Mass Effect. And that's how that series started. That's why it feels so similar, especially the first game compared to like KOTOR as far as gameplay and all the relationship with your companions and such, and the entire premise of flying around a spaceship through space and doing missions and all that jazz. It's a Casey Hudson lead, so it's in good hands in my opinion. However, I don't think we should expect this. I think we don't know if it's going to be a sequel yet, I don't know. But at the start of it, I think it's going to be continuing the story potentially of Revan and maybe his crew and Bastila and all that jazz. Or maybe it's just going to be in the same time period. No idea. But again, there's apparently rumours it was going to be 2030, but Casey Hudson said it'll come before that. So people are laughing now and saying it may come in 2029, which it probably will. Universal Great Britain might be open before that.
Guess what?
What?
It's another set of games I haven't played.
This man over here is in that direction, isn't he? Has not played Knights of the Old Republic. That is a heresy.
I played SWTOR. That's going to piss him off even more.
Hey, I love SWTOR, but it's not Knights of the Old Republic, man. You can't compare them both. You can't put them in the same kettle of fish. They're different things, my friend.
Wearing Star Wars, having played probably the most iconic and loved Star Wars game in existence.
You know what I've got to say to you? I fart in your general direction. Well, it's time for our first guest, the originator of the grubby platinum mantle himself, and the man who has gone through many trophy hunting phases throughout his entire hunting career, El Platinum Bro himself.
How do? I love how you introduced me there. Just the guy who literally just started making videos about really, really rubbish platinum trophies.
Hey, you originated the genre.
Tis I. How's it going, gents?
It's going good. We're quite tired, not enough sleep, but I'm sure we can all relate.
What is sleep?
Exactly, what is sleep?
Been there.
There's no time in adult life. Either way, obviously, if you want to introduce yourself, you can. Otherwise, we'll get straight into the interrogation, as we call it, on this. Which would you prefer? Straight in?
I'm Lewis. I'll just go. No, I'll give everyone a little rundown on myself. Why not? I'm Lewis. I run the YouTube channel Platinum Bro, which covers platinum trophies and stuff, and it's been going for like 5 years. And I have, like Steve said, went through transitions of making different videos on different platinum trophies. I started off as someone who was just smashing all these little 30-minute to an hour platinum trophies, to then going on bigger games, to then playing games I love, to then kind of taking a bit of a chill from platinum trophies at the moment, but still, still providing that content for the boys and gals. Also say as well, of course, I also run a podcast called The Platinum Podcast.
Yes.
Which involves myself, Guy Fruska, and Steve was on it for a very long time, but because of this podcast, going venturing out, he's taken a step back from ours, but he's taken this thing forward, which is exciting, and he will still be on ours, periodically when he has the time.
But with that enough out of the way, we'll get into the questions. This is a very intense interrogation. You might not survive it. You could come out of it mentally scarred. We'll find out by the end of it. But I think Brady is starting off with the questions for you right now.
We'll start off short and sweet. What is your fondest gaming memory?
I'm going to give you a long answer. No, I actually yeah, I can't really. I can give a really quick version, but I only really have two fond, really, really precious fond gaming memories, and one of them is way more precious to me, and it is the first time I played Skyrim when I was 15, 16 when it came out, because me and my friend Jake, who's a really good friend, and we were absolutely inseparable as kids, and we were obsessed with Oblivion. I think we must have been in sixth form, so we literally went and got it, skived school, and then we had to walk back from the town that we bought it from because we didn't have enough money to buy a bus ticket because we spent all our money on Skyrim. It was a 2-hour walk back, so we walked back for 2 hours just talking about how excited we were for Skyrim. And then when we got back, we played it, and then we literally were we're gonna play it for 2 hours, and then we're gonna go walk his dog at the time, and then we'd walk his dog for 30 minutes, and we'd just talk about everything we've been doing, and then we'd go back in and play it again, and then we'd go out for half an hour, and we literally must have walked his dog 6 times in that day, because we literally just sat and played it. It must have been 3 AM when we stopped, and we're just because the RPG was so different and you could do so much in it. He was I remember he had become a werewolf, and I was like, "What? You're a werewolf?" And I was like, "Oh, I've become a mage. I've had to spend an hour running around trying to learn some spell to get across the bridge." And it was just a very wholesome memory of mine. So I'd say that is my fondest.
It's a very special one.
Definitely very special. Skyrim was a special game.
Yeah, it's close to many people's hearts. I mean, I've done enough time in Skyrim myself, so I can attest for it. It's a very deep game, and that's even without any mods or anything. It's
And actually going back and playing the Oblivion remaster this year was there's something special as well, because it's just like, it's obviously like a remaster, but it's very much feels like a rebuilt game. But then it's like got all the clunk of like a 2006 game, which just like makes the charm even better, because like literally like, you'll turn around and someone will be like running through the wall, or like, and you're just like, it looks so, some part of it looks so good, and all of it looks stunning, but like the animations and stuff have kind of like not really been changed too much, so the animations are still really clunky and funny, but it just makes this massive charm about it.
It's a graphical upgrade on the old skeleton, essentially. It's just all the derpy code there. Like, that line is still in the game, I think, where in the Imperial City, you know, where the voice actor goes, "Oh, can I just do that line again?" She just goes through a line and says that. That's still in the game. They didn't take it out. It's still there.
No way.
I'm looking forward to playing it myself. I haven't got around to it yet because I've been waiting for like the patches to go through and fix things up a little bit.
It's so good. Like, I have made a video on it, and in the video it's like when you have to go save this village, this town called Kvatch, which is like being invaded by the Oblivion Gate. You go in with like 6 men. It's maybe like an entire army, but obviously because of the engine at the time, it's like you and like 6 soldiers. And I remember I summoned a skeleton, and then my skeleton, literally the last demon, just like turned and missed the demon and hit the guard, and then all of them just like, even though it was the middle of a battle, just decided that I'd committed like an attack, and they all just tried to kill us.
No.
And I had like, and they were almost going to kill us, and I had to like run out the gate, and then literally one guard followed me for ages and ages and ages, and in the end I just had to kill him, wait like 24 hours, come back, and they'd all forgot about it, thankfully. I was like, oh, thank God. Thanks for this Oblivion game design.
It must have been the wind.
But then that ended up being your induction to the Dark Brotherhood.
Exactly. It was as well, yeah. It actually was.
Your skeleton literally initiated you into the damn Dark Brotherhood.
Old games are one thing. We all love going nostalgia. Again, Oblivion, such a good nostalgia dive. But future is always on the horizon, and future games are always on our minds. And with that, what is your most anticipated game for 2026?
So I did actually prep the pair of them before we started that. Like, I don't really have one, but I'm going to think, because I have thought of one. Because I'm just very much in the moment. I try and very much be in the moment. I don't really look really far in the distance. So like, if a game's coming out, then I'll know about it 2 months before it comes out, not really a year before. Yeah, that's coming out. I am looking forward to Hades 2 if it finally comes out on PlayStation 4, 5. I know it's out on PC, it might be winning Game of the Year, but of course it's got to be GTA 6, right? Like, I think I'm interested to see how it is, of course, because I think it will be very interesting. Probably be genre defining, I imagine, but also just seeing how everyone else reacts to it as well. Seeing if there's like fair criticism, see if everyone just bots it endlessly because it's, you know, GTA. If there's like, be interesting to see what the monetization is going to be like, because it's such an GTA is such an, it is the most iconic game. It's probably it is the most well-known game in the franchise, and obviously Rockstar did kind of take an extreme monetization view on GTA 5, which kind of again did form part of like the monetization for other games going forward. And obviously it's more expensive, this game, which I think can be justified because, you know, it'd be the most expensive game ever made, probably cost them like upwards to $1 billion. I don't know how much it costs, but considering they spent so many years on it, blah blah, like, it's kind of fair. But I think it's going to be a very interesting time for gaming generally when it comes out.
And the cost, I don't know the exact number, but I do know it cost roughly some blockbuster films, like say like Marvel films, it cost them quite a bit of money. It's in the hundreds and hundreds of millions, like well up there. And I agree, it's got a steep price tag, $100, and they're going to shark card the crap out of it because that's what they do. But I think, like you, yeah, just like Red Dead 2, I think that's a brilliant game. It's one of my most favourite games of all time, and that's, like you say, genre defining, just like GTA 5 was. I think 6 will be the same, and yes, it's steep at $100, or probably £100 for us unlucky twats in the UK, but I think it's still worth it, you know, £100, you're going to get so much out of that. It's just, you don't want that to be a constant for the industry. GTA is a special case where that's kind of deserves it.
And that's assuming it ends up being 100. That could be the minimum, not the maximum.
True, that's fair.
Oh, I think that will be the minimum. I think that's why they've kind of announced it, because every game now, all the AAA games all have a premium version that comes out at like almost £100 anyway. So I think by them saying it's going to cost that, I imagine that probably is going to be, at least, I can see that being the standard price for the game. I think as long as it's not, other companies don't go, oh, you know, we spent 200 million on a game and 100 million on advertising and it's rubbish, but GTA charged £100, so I can do the same. I think, but I think that's just obviously
The main problem is the
precedent.
delays.
Yeah.
Delaying it to like November next year, it puts it in dangerous territory of like next generation stuff. The closer it gets to that, the more chance that minimum price is going up.
It always makes you think, is that maybe what they want? Because
That's
GTA
what
5
I
did
think
so
personally.
well. Yeah, because GTA 5 did so well because it came on 360 and Xbox One, right? So, like, you know, being a launch title for a console always makes a game sell more.
Speaking of Game of the Year, though, and I've made sure that this is prefaced that I know you like to keep things open. What is your Game of the Year for 2025? But I'll emphasize, doesn't need to be a game that came out this year. Just your game of this year.
I actually do have a game. I think it did come out this year. Monster Hunter Wilds. I think it is like the best Monster Hunter game by far. It is insanely good. It builds on everything that Worlds did, and it's just so good. It did come out a little bit not in the perfect state because like the co-op and stuff was really hard to kind of manage. And although it's the first truly open world Monster Hunter because you don't have to go on a hunt to explore the world. The only issue is the fact that you can't free roam with other player. So it's like you'll both be in the same world and you just kind of can't leave the hubs. If you leave the hub, there's no one with you. In the world, there's no other players in the world hunting anything. But if you start a hunt, you can invite players. It's kind of a weird direction they took on it, but I do think it is. It's probably the best game I played this year that came out this year. I would recommend it to any Monster Hunter fan or someone who wants to start the series. I think it's such a good starter game. It's and the platinum's not too bad. It's like 80 hours instead of like 400 for Monster Hunter Worlds. And also brought something, I know you both play Monster Hunter, so it brought out something different. It allows you to take 2 weapons out, which I think is a massive change. So like you get this thing called like a Saraket, and it's an animal you ride, and when you're on it, you can change your weapon. So you get a primary and secondary weapon, and it changes the way you do every hunt because you can take like, you know, I main the insect glaive, which is like where you the big staff that like you jump in the air and you're like flying around, spinning around. But you can bring like a bow, a big sword, you know, a lance, a sword and shield. Like you can change it up depending on what the monster is. And it just creates this versatility and just much more excitement in every single hunt that you can just change on the fly. I think it's a big change, but it's like if you've played Monster Hunter before, which I know you both have. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal if you haven't played it, but it honestly changes the game.
I'd agree. Versatility is good because one of my main things about the game was you can get tired of it sometimes. It gets a bit stale at points, was Worlds. So having the extra versatility of pulling out an extra weapon is brilliant. I mean, I personally always rocked the heavy swords. To compensate, for the chode, you got to have another big weapon out there. It's just required.
I like heavy sword, but I think the more I played it, I was just like, it just doesn't have enough DPS. It doesn't do enough damage. Like, but it does obviously. But like, because you're always getting stumbled, you basically have to hide under the monster with a long sword, the big sword, heavy sword, the great sword. And you kind of like just hope it doesn't knock you over.
Yeah.
So like, you might do a slam, it's like 300 damage, but the next combo you get knocked over. Whereas my insect glaive, you can like fly around the sky like a ninja, and you're like doing like 30 damage, but like every half a second. So like, and you don't get hit. So you just keep comboing and comboing. So it's like I was just like, it's faster to hunt with a glaive, and you look cool, and you can.
It is insane. It's insane to use when you get the hang of it.
Oh yeah, I haven't got the hang of it, but I don't know how to play it, but it's just fun.
You're good enough.
By getting the hang of it, I mean the ability to at least bounce once in the air.
Well, yeah, I can do that. I can do that. I'm not that bad.
Wilds has been a really favourite game for you, like I said. You've been smashing it out. It's your game of the year. But is there an actual gaming obsession of yours right now that may be not related to trophies or achievements, just a gaming pure obsession?
If I said no, would either of you believe us?
Nah.
No.
Nah, not at all.
We already know what your potential answer is going to be, but
I've got
we might as well.
I really like Pokemon at the moment.
Pokemon. It was definitely Nintendo.
Pokemon trading card game. Always sending those cards.
Oh yeah, well, I do love the Pokemon trading card game. It is absolutely sensational. No, my gaming obsession is League of Legends because I'm a massive weeb. Started playing it last year.
Never heard of League before in my life.
I know.
Sounds like hellscape.
Yeah, we totally didn't binge Arcane or anything like that. I don't know what you're talking about.
So I did a video on Smite like 2 years ago, year and a half ago, and it's a MOBA on console, and I did enjoy it, and then And then basically that and a couple of other games, I played a few like Pokemon Unite, and I was like, I actually kind of like this. And then I just, because of my PC, I've never really had a PC that could run games, but now I do. And I was like, I'm just gonna try it. And then I was like, something just clicked, and I love League of Legends. I think it's literally one of my favorite games. It's one of the best games for me that I've ever played, and yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with it right now. And I know you use both are as well, because we'll play it all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what you mean. I've got a very active social life. I have no clue what you mean.
I take plenty of showers. I don't stay 12 hours a day just grinding out and losing LP constantly. Inters everywhere.
I don't secretly have like waifu cups or waifu pillows or anything like that, all from League of Legends. Totally not.
Kali, Jinx, Seraphine, he's got them all. But no, I mean, yeah.
Caitlyn, Vi.
Just stop before you get to any risky ones. There's plenty of risky characters there. You don't get into Tristana or anything like that. But
oh god.
I mean, in all fairness, Brady played this years ago, so he quit. He left. That he escaped, but he's been dragged back in. He's back in now for good, essentially. Now Lewis got us playing Wild Rift.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But Wild Rift is the mobile version, and you got us both playing that originally, and we were like, oh yeah, let's play this. Like, we're never going to play the PC version. We're not going to those sweats. No. Yeah, give it a bit of time. We all got dragged in. So, and now we're obsessed.
Yeah, you know what? I forgot about that. Like, yeah, I went to the mobile game. Yeah, I remember that. I actually played this, like, I can't remember what it's even called. It's who does Supercell, who makes Clash of Clans. They released a new game, and it was like kind of like a MOBA, and I played that first, and then I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just see if it's League of Legends, and then on mobile, and I did, and I was like, because it's faster paced, it's easier. I mean, I say easier, like, I think it's still quite challenging. It's different, but yeah, that got us into League.
Speaking of the Pokemon, thinking back, that was my first experience with MOBAs, because I played it on my Switch when that came out. I was like, it's a free game, let's try it. Oh, I played a few games, I enjoyed it. I'm thinking back, that was probably my first ever MOBA experience, which is,
Yeah, same actually. I think I must have played it the first time when I got my Switch, which was like 2018 or something. But I only played like 2 or 3 games. I thought this was pretty cool, and then just put it down and played it again.
Last thing I'll say on League before asking the next question. Steve hopes there'll be a PlayStation version. If you ever get any messages from these people asking you to play League, run! Just run!
It's a brilliant platinum, you'll love it, I'm sure. You like, get to challenger rank and face Faker in a 1v1 for the flat. It's like, yeah, come on.
I'm already doomed. Save yourselves. Save yourselves. But yes, the next question we have for you, Lewis.
Oh, well, one more thing. So say, if the platinum was literally just get a silver rank, it would be an ultra rare platinum.
Yeah, just silver.
Unobtainable. Just unobtainable.
No, all the trophies should be basically like on the all streamers, like Intin Sion. You just got tins and just win the game, destroy Nexus. Push from Mundo. Just everything like that. You could make such a creative list, it'd be brilliant. You don't even need ranks.
You could.
I'd take it. But yeah, go on, Brady.
So the next question we have for you, Lewis. What is the next platinum trophy that you are hoping to achieve? Doesn't have to be soon, but just the top of your head. What is the next game you'd like to platinum?
Well, I am playing a lot more Monster Hunter Wilds at the moment with my brother, but we're still quite a way away. I think I'm still probably like 30 to 40 hours away, because we're kind of just being like, so you have like a hunter rank level, it's called HR, and I think I'm HR 60, you've got to get to HR 100, but there's also like, you got to like hunt, you've still got to do these crowns, which is where you have to find a small and a large version of each monster, and it's random, but there's only 20 monsters. So that's what, and I've got about 10 crowns, but it's all, I think I'm about 30 or 40 hours away, whereas I am playing another game called V-Rising, which I really like, and it's like a over-the-top vampire game. I think it was free on PS Plus last month or the month before.
It was.
And you kind of like, it's like a world built, it's like you go in this world and you build your castle, so it's like kind of got this crafting element, survival element, and there's like bosses in the world that are always there, and if the first time you kill them, you get a permanent upgrade. And it's kind of like, and then you upgrade your gear, and then unlock more bosses. The bosses are always there, but if they're too strong, you literally can't even damage them until you get to a certain level. And it's just fun. It's chill. It's like got chill moments. It's got like it's like fighting moments. And it's just I think that one probably. I think I probably could do it in 15 hours, but the way I'm playing it quite chill. Probably 20 hours, but yeah, I think V-Rising probably will be the next one.
Nice. I mean, it does look great. It was on, I think it was it Extra, actually? Extra catalog, maybe? It was on one of them.
Not sure.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about it, and when I first looked at that trailer, I was like, wow, this looks like such a brilliant game where you can just turn your brain off, go and forage some stuff, craft some stuff, and also go kick some, ass in the vampire land. Van Helsing style, but you are the vampire, so...
You can turn to a werewolf, you can turn to a bat, you can turn to a rat, you can turn to a bear, you can use wizardry, mind control to make people become your hunters, and then you can send them out and hunt and they defend your castle. There's a PvP element as well, so people can join your servers and they can make their own world and they can play the whole story out, but then they can become your arch enemy and they can keep trying to invade your castle, so you have to have people to defend it. Or you can just play with friends and they can become your friends and make a clan. You can just have the same world together, but you have your own castles you can visit. I haven't done any of that yet because I don't really want some sweaty guy just joining, and every time I log back in he's just raided all my supplies from my castle, burnt it to the ground. I'm like, oh god damn. So
But moving on from that, there's been a lot of gaming TV shows around lately, such as Fallout, for example, which has been a massive hit, and there's talks about Tomb Raider movies and as such in the future. I'm scared about that one, I will say the least. But with these adaptations, are there any around that you would love to see, and why? It's a bit of a toughie.
I need to think now.
Ideally, one that we haven't already had.
Yeah, it can't be like a Witcher.
I mean, yeah.
I more meant in case you were thinking about Monster Hunter. Yes, I know that movie was absolute trash, but
Yeah, I don't think Monster Hunter would work. I think maybe I don't think because it doesn't have a plot, so it's you'd have to make a plot, and the game would be so heavily criticized because they'd have to write their own plot on it, and everyone would just hate it. It just wouldn't be. There's not enough substance to the game to make a show on it. I had one.
It's really tough.
And I've forgotten. Okay. So, what's it called? Claire.
Expedition 33?
Yeah, I haven't even played this game. But my brother's played it, and I was with him the other day, and he literally sat for an hour and a half just telling us in great detail, the world. He didn't ruin the story, he just sat there and told us about, the tower and stuff. And, the number. And I was like, that is such an interesting premise. That, because obviously I don't know how it ends, right? Because I haven't played the game, and I was like, that premise alone would make a really good show. However, I do prefer animated, so I just think it gives them more freedom. So for example, Devil May Cry show that came out, I thought was really, really good, and there's no way that could have been as good live action because it would have been so limited to what
Definitely
it could have done that it just wouldn't have worked. And I think some shows do work, Fallout works, of course it does, and so does Witcher. But some of the stuff that's more kind of a little bit more out there in terms of designs and animation, fights and stuff, like God of War or something, that might not work as well in live action without a monstrous budget. And the bigger the budget, the bigger the influence from these big companies, which just kind of puts it in the gutter and stuff. Because God of War would also be another interesting one, especially if they retold it. But again, would people like it as much? Because obviously there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the first couple before it kind of gets its little soft reboot. That's the best answer I can give, I think, because all the things I can think of that would be good shows, I can't really. They've already been made.
You didn't give the answer I thought you were going to give. I thought you were going to say Helldivers. Essentially a brand new Starship Troopers.
Oh.
With actual story, though.
TV style as well, so you get plenty of episodes, different stories from different planets. Oh.
I think that would be amazing, but it'd have to be a comedy.
It would, yeah.
It'd have to be I've seen loads of AI generated videos of Helldivers, and it's that's so funny. And I think it wouldn't have to be proper, kind of like Starship Troopers. It's satirical, but also there is a bit of funny moments to it. I think it's so extreme that it becomes funny. I think actually that's a good shout, Brady. I didn't even think of that. I think that actually would be amazing.
That'd be my top pick, to be fair. I mean, they got to be careful though. Look at Halo. That was apparently bad. I've not watched it, but
I didn't mind it.
That gives me hope. That gives me hope. Then I might actually enjoy it because the clips look good.
It's thing is, it's kind of they've deviated from the story and they've kind of been this is our take on it. And I was I just went in with open mind. I was okay, let's go for it. I mean, I am a big Halo fan. More so when I was younger. I haven't played any of the new ones. I didn't finish Halo 4, so that's kind of where I got up
Same.
to. But I did love them growing up. I loved them loads. Like I would probably put Halo Reach in my top 10 games of all time. Halo Reach is phenomenal, and I don't mind it. I thought it was good. It was watchable. Like I didn't finish any episode going, this is a bad show. I didn't finish it going, this is an amazing show. Whereas I think, for example, Fallout, I thought Fallout was really good. So I watched it. I was like, this is like really good. Whereas like The Witcher, the first season, I haven't even finished season 2 of The Witcher. The first season was really good, and then it kind of just couldn't keep us interested. And I was like, even though Henry Cavill and his sexy jawline just couldn't keep us invested in it.
Man. We got a sexy chap there, and even he can't keep us in with those horrible producers ruining stuff. You know, it's just.
Our next question is definitely going to be a dicey one for you, though. I'm very curious how you're going to answer this one. Who is your favorite gaming character protagonist, antagonist, and supporting character?
Well, I've got answers, but I feel like they're not like proper answers because like, okay, right.
They're your answers. That's all that matters.
Speak from your heart.
Okay, I'm going to start with my favorite supporting character in any show ever is Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
Nice. Yeah, I agree.
So Piccolo is like one of the best characters I think he's the best. I think he's the best character in Dragon Ball Z. I think he's like obviously I haven't watched Dragon Ball, but I've watched Dragon Ball Z through to Super. So I know what happens in Dragon Ball. So no, obviously he's a reincarnation of this evil Piccolo. For those who don't know, he's a reincarnation of the big bad at the end of Dragon Ball, and then he kind of starts out like wanting to get revenge on Goku, and then because of these extraterrestrial threats, he ends up raising. When Goku dies, he ends up raising his son, and then to fight these aliens, which are the Saiyans. Obviously most people know what Dragon Ball Z is, and then he actually sacrifices himself to save his arch nemesis's child, and I think that is like. I think that's the best part of all of Dragon Ball Z, Super, all the films, and then he just like continues to be this like character who's there, and he like him and Gohan's relationship with like a surrogate father, it's just amazing. And then you see it like in Dragon Ball Super, you see it in Dragon Ball Superhero, which is like an incredible movie. So yeah, I think he is my favorite supporting character, I would say.
Okay.
Now. Going on to the other two, I just want to say Spider-Man for my favorite, but I feel like it's just like it's not gaming specific. I need to have a little turn and look at my shelf.
He's in plenty of games though, and I will say while you're looking at your shelf, you should watch Dragon Ball at some point. It's definitely unhinged at times and quite hilarious. It literally puts Master Roshi in his best light in the most comedic way possible. So I'd always recommend watching that at some point. That's how I started my Dragon Ball journey.
Already see the comments.
What? There's nothing wrong with pervy Master Roshi. He's brilliant.
Not from that. all the Dragon Ball specific fans going like Piccolo sub character. It's like, oh, this is gonna be interesting.
He was the writer's favorite character, so you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just have to say Spider-Man because when I think like there's no one stands out to me.
That's fine.
Like there's no one that clearly stands out. I play a lot of RPGs where you make your own character and stuff. So on that, it's like, well, you play your own character. So, and
yeah.
Although I do like the charm of
Ooh.
I do really like Nero from Devil May Cry. And so Devil May Cry 4 was the first one I played, and he was like this sulky teenager, and I was a sulky teenager,
full
and I was like, this is just goddamn, full emo. I was a full emo. I was like, yeah, and then like seeing his progression with DMC5, like just think he's all around just like a fantastic character, and like him and Kyrie's relationship were just so cute, and because of that, I think because Spider-Man's like he's not just gaming. I'm gonna say Nero from Devil May Cry 4, and then 5, just Devil May Cry series generally,
just DMC. So
that leaves the really interesting one, though. Now,
this is what I'm interested in: is the antagonist. That's the really interesting one. I mean, he could just pull DMC again. He could say Virgil.
I can't.
Just the memes.
Nah,
chair.
There's a guy that I don't even know his name, but whenever I think of like gaming, he always like when I think of like, do you know how you like think back to like, every game and like there's like moments in games that really stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I literally, like, oh, I was just thinking, I need to give a special shout out to other supporting characters, which is Don from Gears of War. Just put that in there.
Oh, I love that.
But like, there's moments that like stand out, and the bad guy from Final Fantasy 15, I can't remember his name.
I've not played it that far enough to know him either.
I've not played it, so I can't say I know who it is, but interesting choice.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you why in a second.
He must be a badass, because I mean, a lot of us know Sephiroth from Final Fantasy 7 as being like the ultimate dick. So if this guy's worse than him,
it's like his name's like Arden Izunia, but the reason why is like when he's like, so the main character is Noctis, and he's like essentially the prince, and when he goes out exploring with his friends, like his kingdom falls and his dad dies, and then it's all about all this stuff that goes on. But the villain, and I always found like that was such a hot. I've just spelled it like so. You know. the game came out 10 years ago. 10 years ago. If you're really bothered about spoilers for a game, and it came out 10 years ago, yeah, that's on you.
hey, I'll give them a 2-second spoiler warning and see if they can click fast enough.
Yeah,
that's the game in the game.
And I remember like being like, I was playing the game. It was the only Final Fantasy game I've ever played, and I loved it, and I was just like it was like hard hitting. And it's still with us now, like 10 years later. Like, literally, when I think of like gaming moments in villains, like it did come to me straight away, but I didn't want to say it because I was like, I can't remember the guy's name. But it was like so bad. Like, it was just such a powerful villain on the screen. And he's just like, he does a few things that are a bit like he comes across as like a friend first and stuff like that, and then like it just like properly like betrays them all. And then special shout out to Joker and Batman, obviously, because in Arkham Asylum and stuff, the Mark Hamill's Joker is obviously incredible.
Best Joker. Completely the best Joker. I love Mark Hamill. Completely the best.
Yeah.
But in all fairness, like you said, it's 10 years and he's still leaving an impact. That shows you how much of a bastard he really is if he's really left that impact.
Exactly.
So much he is.
He was a bad man.
He's a bad man. Lewis has been PG and I'm just swearing. It's usually how it goes, isn't it, really? But
you don't know how to be PG.
I can't be PG. It's hard enough not to swear normal in public and in other vlogs and stuff, but 10 years, long time, right? There's been a lot of evolution through those 10 years. You went from the grubs, like you said, you went into games like Bloodborne, it really made you blossom. Like, I like these harder games, you know, I actually get a lot of appreciation from beating these challenges and getting better as a gamer. So at this point, you've been through a big journey. Where do you think you are now? And do you feel like you're in your final form, if you go from like a Dragon Ball reference right there? The ultimate Platbro form.
I could be in my final form, which is underwhelming, obviously. But I think obviously like when I first started trophy hunting, it was because I went from Xbox to PlayStation, and I always like try to get like a few more achievements when I finish the game. Say I finish the game, back on Xbox it's 1,000 achievements per game. Don't know what it is now, probably give or take. And say it was firing a game, let's go for beating the game. I would always like try and get a little bit more. Like I'd always like try and beat the game again or something like that. And I'd get like most games like 700, 800. I used to always be like, I want to have the most achievements on this game out of all my friends list. But I never did the 100% other than like Oblivion and some other games. And then when I went to PlayStation, I was like, I'm going to try and beat all these games. And then I was like, oh, I can just like, you know, beat this game in 45 minutes. And that's another platinum. And then that obviously started a spiral of like literally like 300 easy games over like a 2-year period. And then I started playing more games. Like I slowed down, got better at making videos and content, and that kind of made us want to make videos on those games. And then I've definitely slowed down now, because I think it came to the point where I felt like a lot of the stuff wasn't worth it to me anymore. Like, you know, I just hate, for example, I don't like collectibles. I didn't used to mind it, but I think towards the end of it, I just felt like a bit of a waste of time for us. Fair enough if there was like something I could do alongside it, like, but a lot of time, especially when I was making videos and stuff, it was just me having to like spend 5 hours watching a guide or something, or trying to find them myself. And I found that was when it sort of dawned on us, because I was like, you know, I want to make a video on this, and I've spent 30 hours editing this video, but I can't finish it until I do these collectibles. And then I've got to spend 6 hours, which just felt that, it kind of like, because I was doing videos on it, kind of like, it just dawned on us that I felt like I wasn't making good use of my time for it. And I think, so on that, and now I just like, I don't look at trophy lists anymore before I play a game. And I will just play the game, And I used to like worry about my completion percentage, and now I just like, nah, I just started. I've got games where I've got like 10 won a trophy, and I'm like, well. But yes, I think that's like, I think what you've told me this, Steve, before. That's just like, you know, rather than just beating every game, if you platinum a game, it's more of a sign that the game itself is worth playing on your list.
Exactly.
And I do kind of feel like that now. Like, so V Rising, for example, I think it's fantastic. The Platinum Trophy looks like, you know, I could probably play the game for 20 hours and be satisfied with it. But I'm like, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like it's just like all the trophies are tied to in-game mechanics for doing everything the game has. Like, you know, create, like, for example, a potion, or create all different types of potions. But there's only 7 types, but you have to go around the world, like, you know, gathering resources and stuff. It's like, well, you're just doing everything. You're just experiencing all the potions in the game because they all give you different buffs. And it's like, it's all game mechanics. It's not just like play the game for 100 hours, go find every collectible like Uncharted, where it's like, oh, a wooden spoon. Oh yes,
yeah.
From two years ago. Oh yes, perfect.
You know how much I love Uncharted. Like, I've literally got part of it tattooed on me, but I disagree with the meaningless slop of collectibles you got to find throughout all the games. Like, yeah. Middle of a random city street where there's poverty around. Oh yeah, there's a big golden chalice on this bench that anyone can pick up. It's like, yeah, oh yeah, Nathan Drake finds it. Why? Oh, it's a treasure hunt, you see. Yeah, why would he go for the big treasures when all this other shit's there? There's no reason for it.
That's a very valid point.
It's like you've just hired someone, right, to create a nice art object, which looks nice, but...
Yeah, I feel like, as someone who is a completionist, or I definitely was at the time, people are like, oh, you know, put the collectibles in for the completionists. Well, I was a completionist, and it was still a monstrous waste of time. So, like, who were they actually making it for, other than just, you know, the sake of making them? But, you know, there's other things in games as well, like, you know, excessive grind and stuff. But, yeah, V Rising doesn't have that. I think it's like, I had a discussion with someone where it's like, the more you play, when you complete games for Platinum Trophies, like, you see more of the game than the average gamer. And you see how much sustenance is actually there, because if the game's like a 30-hour game to beat, but then the platinum takes 60 hours, you're playing that game for 30 more hours than really kind of the main story, and you see that that's when you really learn if the game is deep enough to last that long, or if you just like, you know, I don't know, playing a game where you're like a spellcaster and you've only actually got 4 spells for the whole game or something like that, you know, like you're like, actually, it's getting a bit repetitive now, and I think. A trophy list, they shouldn't just make the trophy lists this long, just extend the playtime. So I don't know if I'm at final form. Going back, I've just derailed that conversation massively. I don't know if I am about final form. I think it might change, but I can't see myself as I get older and more responsibility. I can't see myself wanting to spend 100 hours on a game where maybe I didn't enjoy the last 25 hours when I don't have that much time to game anymore. I'd rather just experience, you know, have the time I've got, play a game that I want to play, and then if I love it, I'll keep playing it and get the platinum. But if another gamer comes out and catches my eye, then yeah, I'm gonna just jump ship. So yeah, it depends on the game. Depends if the games are good enough, really. A lot of games haven't been, but a lot of games have been. So I would platinum Helldivers 2 all over again.
Same, in a heartbeat.
So yeah, and yeah, maybe I will. I mean, I think we all change. I think, you know, when you think back, like if you look at yourself from 5 years ago, you're always so different. But like, I can't say it's my final form. So I think, you know, I'm always going to be growing. Always going to be growing.
Always
and
growing.
Forward.
Hey, 11th Doctor quote from Matt Smith. You know, we all change, and that's good. That's the entire point of that quote. It's like, there's nothing wrong with it. We all change, we all evolve. And, you know, we might settle eventually in a certain spot. I mean, what I'm taking from this is that in 2027, Grubby Platbro is back. You know, that's when he's re-rounding lap number 2.
Well, I have heard there's a new My Name is Mayo. My Name is Mayo remastered.
What I'm getting from this, however, though, is that Lewis will always change until that League of Legends Platinum comes out, in which case 150,000 hours invested into it, and still waiting for that Platinum.
Oh, yeah. Marvel Rivals is a great example. I've actually got 200 hours playtime in Marvel Rivals over the last year it's been out. I don't have the Platinum, and I could get the Platinum if I really wanted to. There's like, they're all like, a lot of them are like situational, but you can boost a lot of them with friends and stuff. I've just never ever been like, I just can't really be bothered to spend 2 hours getting these 4 trophies when I'm only playing the game because I enjoy playing the game. Whereas reality is I probably could get it if I really wanted to, but it's like you gotta do certain things with certain characters, but I don't like playing those characters, so I'm like, but I've still spent loads of time on the game because I do really enjoy it.
So Lewis, it's rather funny that you derail the conversation to collectibles, because our final question for you before we move on to asking you about our main topic of the episode is, obviously we talked about collectibles on the previous episode, and clearly from what you've just said, you're not a fan, you never will be a fan, you probably never were a fan. But if you could have been, what would be your ideal collectible trophy scenario that you would actually be happy with?
So I think, no, I can be a fan if they were to do certain things. I think most of the time I'm not. So there's a game called Darksiders, and I remember there was collectibles, but certain types of them were like essentially when you found there was like one of them was like a health collectible, and every time you found 4, you got a permanent health increase to your character. Yeah. And I think those type of collectibles, which basically improve your in-game experience or reward the gamer for finding them, other than just finding something shiny and getting a trophy, I'm 100% on board with. Like, I really am for them, because obviously, like, as long as there's not too many, or it's not like making you go like beyond the amount to do it, but as long as it doesn't make it so if you had every collectible, you'd be able to just go through every game very easily. But I don't mind that sort of thing where like it improves the game, even if it's like if it's an RPG, like collectibles give you currency in the game, so you can buy things that improve your playthrough and stuff like that. Like, I think there's ways and means to do it. I just think having a collectible in for the sake of it just being a collectible is not for me. Some people like it. For me, nah. And then it depends as well. Like, yeah, it may obviously very open. Like, I didn't mind them in Spider-Man because the collectibles all had references to like comic books and things that all had Easter eggs to the actual Marvel world. Whereas if they don't really have any Easter eggs, or you're a game that doesn't have enough lore to actually create Easter eggs in it, it's a bit like, nah, come on, nah.
I mean, that's sensible. Most people in the from the community in the last episode basically said the same. They don't mind them if they've got some substance. If they've got, like you say, unlock characters, unlock costumes, have upgrades for your abilities, perks, etc. And some people obviously said maybe if you collect 60% it counts in the game. That way you can do it without even really going out your way. And it works to a lesser extent. So if you want to be an anal completionist, you can do it. But if you don't, you can be like, yeah, I can get enough and I get my trophy.
It's fair.
So you're pretty much online with what most people were saying, to be fair. So it shows your head screwed on, right? Which, compared to us, it probably is, to be fair. The last topic, which, again, it might reference our heads not being screwed on, is our platinums becoming too easy. That's the main topic of the episode, and we want your thoughts on it before we get into it properly. But a good example is Silent Hill 2 HD remaster on PS3. It was a 10 out of 10 infamous game with a 10-star run. It was a horrible platinum to earn. It took so much planning. It was annoying as hell. The remake is like a 3 out of 10. It is so easy just to run through the game. It's not a challenge at all. And a lot of games these days are getting easy platinums where they are just cakewalks. It's very rare you see really hard platinums anymore. So,
does Silent Hill have any difficulty trophies in the PS5 version?
Don't believe it does, no.
Yes, I think platinum trophies by AAA games are becoming way easier. I think they are a participation medal more than anything. And I can't help but feel like it's because bigger companies want to use it as a way to increase playtime, rather than make it as a like an accomplishment. Obviously, platinum trophies and trophy hunting is a minority of gaming, so I think like there's also the idea that if you make platinum trophies easier, then more people can become trophy hunters and kind of like get invested. And there's always harder games out there. I think it just depends on what your game is. I think, is your game defined by its difficulty? For example, like a From Software game or Metal Gear Solid, for example. Like, obviously it's not defined by it, but it's a big part of the speedrun and stuff, right? If your game's defined by difficulty, then the platinum trophy should be difficult. If it's not, then I think there is more freedom to it, I would say. And I don't know. I don't think anybody should be able to play any game and get a platinum trophy in it, because then what's the point in doing it other than for yourself? Like, that's fair, but like, if anybody can do it, it kind of diminishes the accomplishment of it. But that's not to say every game should be like that. I think there's got to be a balance. So, if somebody wants to, only play 3 out of 10 difficulties, 4 out of 10 difficulties, and have a great experience, like maybe like Last of Us Remastered, for example, is definitely easier because there's no there's no difficulty-based trophies on The Last of Us remake on PS5.
And there's no
not the
multiplayer.
remaster on PS4.
So it's just
No, yeah. So The Last of Us remaster is literally like a 4 out of 10, whereas The Last of Us Remastered had the second hardest difficulty in the base platinum, and then it had the survival mode, the grounded mode in the DLC. So like it's okay to have those games. I just think if every game was like that, it kind of just does diminish it. And like, yeah, they are easier. I mean, it depends as well, like, because RPGs used to be really difficult, right? Like, there used to be massive time sinks, not like difficult. Like, you think like some of like the Dragon Age games and stuff like that. Like, some of them were like monstrous time sinks where you had like do like 4 playthroughs, 5 playthroughs of like 60-hour games. Maybe Dragon Age isn't the best example, but there used to be games like that, right?
if you had a Divinity games, definitely like 8 or 9 out of 10s. They're pretty hard as well.
Yeah, but I think they've got I'm sure that's got difficulty-based trophies.
I think it does, yeah.
Yeah, but like even the Fallout, even think of like Fallout 4, there was like 3 endings, and if you didn't know how to do like backup saves, you would have had to actually play through like this game 3 times, and it would have taken at least 40 hours, probably 30 hours, even if you speedrun it to get through. And I always found them quite frustrating. Like, I like the idea of being able to get a platinum in. Like, if the game's short, yeah, fair enough, I don't mind a couple of playthroughs, but if it's a 100-hour game, I don't want to do 2 playthroughs. Like, that's the reality. Because it's just... So that is obviously... Them becoming easier for RPGs isn't the end of the world, because RPGs, unless it's defined by its difficulty, like Divinity Original Sin, or XCOM, like, if the game is defined by its difficulty, then it should have difficult platinums. But 100% they are becoming easier. I think it's just being used as a monetary incentive. Try and keep people playing more, to be honest.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we don't want to go too deep into it, but we do agree, like, not every platinum should be accessible to everyone, because it's supposed to be an achievement after all. I will first admit it, I am shit at a lot of games out there, and I will never achieve those platinums. And does it suck? Yeah, but you know what? If I can't earn it, I don't deserve it. And it's one of those things, like, game accessibility is good. The Last of Us is, like you said, brilliant franchise. They do so much to make accessible gamers be able to play it, visually impaired and everything else, which I'm all for. But I'm not all for accessibility for platinums. That is a different, playing field entirely. And I think you should have to be able to earn it. And if you can't, I'm sorry, you can't earn everything in life. It's just one of those things. We can't all be billionaires. So,
I think it's like, let's just go to something else, like a different genre. Like, sport. Like, if we go to sport, I think sports, should be made accessible. Anybody, so anyone can play a sport, but not everybody should be able to win at a sport. Like, if you got something that makes you not able to play football as well as somebody else, like, you should be able to play it with everybody else. But does it mean you should be able to win all the time?
Well, you're not going to be in the Premier League, are you? Does that mean?
No, not if, like, because if you can win, like, then everyone's like, well, it's been made, the bar's being made easier for everybody else, and then it's like, well, it diminishes the accomplishment on both sides.
It does, yeah.
It makes the people who they've made it easier for, it makes it less rewarding for them. So it's like, and then it makes it less rewarding for everybody else.
It eliminates your hard work, from that sense.
Yeah, I think over time, the people who the games have been made easier for, just then essentially then find it unfulfilling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if they still have to try, then they find it rewarding. Just like someone who played it themselves, like.
Well, look at Bloodborne, for example, right? That was like an evolution for you, as we said. It really brought you out of your shell and got you into new things. To me, Liza P, for example, is a perfect game that it feels like a sequel to Bloodborne. It feels very close to it in vibe, nature, gameplay. It just feels evolved compared to it, but in the same vein. That game, it was, I think, like 7 or 8 out of 10. And then they added a easy mode and a story mode to it, which means you can now do it as a 3 out of 10 difficulty, which is good. More people can play the game and experience the deep story it's got. But at the same time, if you've completed that game already on that harder difficulty and you've gone through a journey, say if that was your first game rather than Bloodborne, and you've gone through that hard journey, if that patch was already out, you would have played it on story mode potentially, and you would never have had that journey because of that, and that wouldn't have been your defining moment to change as a gamer and be like, right, I like these games.
Oh, yeah.
And that can be taken away because of that.
So, like, I think I actually don't... I think it depends, like, obviously, like... But I think if you've got a deep story, like... All joke, like, Bloodborne, From Software games, the story is is very minimal.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much really to experience. Like, you've got to do a lot of reading about the law stuff to know what the hell's going on.
Read all weapons.
Like, to make them easier, yeah. But I think if that was to be in, right, I'd be like, that's fine. You can play Life of Peaceborough out easy mode, but no trophies can be earned on it.
Yeah.
Or only just literally just have all the main story ones, beating all the bosses as unachievable unless you do it on the normal difficulty. You can do all the collectibles, you can do everything except the ones for beating the bosses. They have to be done on the higher difficulty.
I agree. That is actually a perfect compromise. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And I was thinking something else, like for example, right? Going back to Skyrim, right? If you download mods, just trophies and achievements are disabled. Bear in mind, Skyrim is a piss easy game, right? So mods don't really make it any easier; they just make it more fun. But I've actually barely used mods because I was always like, well, I'm playing the game, I want to get the trophies, but you've disabled them, even though the game is so easy anyway. Like, well, you can obviously play at easy difficulty, but you can obviously like change difficulty. So it's like, it's not making it any harder. So like, why disable the achievements? Like, very weird. But yeah, I think that is a good compromise though. If they're going to figure out these easy games, just make it so that the Platinum Trophy is still as difficult, but just anyone can experience the game.
All I was going to say is the way I've always looked at it is it's like a 4-stage system for me. Every game should be accessible to everyone. Every game should be playable to everyone. Every game should be at least completable to everyone. However, not every platinum or 100% or like completionist level of them should be doable by everyone. Because then there's no meaning to it. There's no reward.
Yeah, no, I agree, 100%. Because the reality is, there's games that I can't beat, right? There's platinum trophies I can't do, and that's got nothing to do with accessibility. Like, I just can't do them. I'm not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
Or maybe I could do Wolfenstein 2, but it would take us hundreds of hours. Or like, for example, actually better ones like Street Fighter, because some of those earlier ones are really difficult, and I'm terrible at Street Fighter. I really find the inputs difficult. Like, I could never get them, and it's nothing to do with accessibility. It's just too hard for me. So like, and I'm fine with that. Like, I don't feel like targeted because I can't do it. You know,
My fingers don't move fast enough, son. Can barely handle my lead keys. Yeah. Like,
honestly, that's another thing. But when I played Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I almost gave up on it because it's not even that hard. Some people would say, but for a fighting game, it's not that hard. But like, I was literally struggling so much. I was like, I just cannot move my fingers fast enough to actually put the combos in, because you had to do like 10 combos at once, like in a row. And I was like, it had to be so quick as well. It wasn't just like do one combo. It was like basically combo. And I was like, I just can't do it. I did manage to do the easier ones and get the platinum, but like, other games are harder, and I was like, but nah. I was like, nah, I ain't touching them.
hey mate, I'm so shit at those type of games. I can't do Mortal Kombat.
We're getting old. We can't do those kind of reactions anymore.
Hey, I'm not old. I'm improving. I'm hitting my stride, hitting my prime.
Now we getting old. Like I'm younger than you, and I've already got the Western hat on. I'm preparing for my retirement to the Wild West.
It's
I'm
a
already
mindset
ready for
game.
this.
You're preparing for it. I'm not. That's on my far horizon. Hell no. No time soon.
You'll be over there. You'll be there too if your stupid capybara farm.
No, I'll be Emerald rank by 2027. You watch on League. That's my goal. I'm taking down Faker in 2030. When he's old and too slow to fight me.
He's got like serious like repetitive strain in all his fingers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Arthritis. He can't move his hands and that.
I don't care if he's injured. I'm taking him down.
If he actually achieves that, I would never stop playing League, and I would hate myself for ever making this deal.
I don't think you will anyway. You're too addicted to the skins. You'll be on that for the rest of your life. You're there. As long as we're there to pull you back, you're not escaping no more. But that is all the questions. We don't want to keep any longer. We know you've got a train to catch because there is busy Platborough. So if there's anything you want to say before we close this segment out?
It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Maybe have you again in the future. Maybe we'll have you and Joel.
Yes.
Who knows? And
of course,
if you want us or either of us on your podcast again, we are more than willing to join.
Don't forget, guys, do go check out Platinum Bros channel if you haven't already done so. Go watch the Platinum Podcast. Like Steve said, more podcasts, good podcasts.
And we're back. Yes, that was a brilliant interview with Platinum Bro. As you can see, nothing has changed here. Everything's the same. This is totally not a different day. Nothing at all.
Totally not a different hat. Totally cowboy hat, not back there.
Yeah.
Don't know what you're talking about, not wearing new clothes.
Yeah, sometimes after an orgy with three lads, things that you got to get changed. It's just part of it, gets messy. But it's time for our main topic, which is a spicy one, as you can tell by the title. And I'm sure some people probably raged already, which are platinum trophies becoming too easy. Now, we can start this by saying Sony's first party titles, we all know them, Spider-Man, etc. they're infamous even, they're very easy platinums. Don't require any brain cells really to complete. It's just there, you play the game, the trophies essentially pop for the most part alongside of you. That is fine. We've always seen that. A lot of us have always said they're the gateway to get people into hunting trophies and achievements, because Xbox do it as well sometimes with their games. And I think that's a great thing, because trophies are a great extension of gaming when played in the correct way, when it's played to get more time out of your games, right? But there's a trend lately that we've all noticed, and me and Brady both like challenging experiences, and we've got plenty of friends who do as well. We don't mind the chill time, but we like challenges. And one of our biggest contenders of this was Silent Hill 2, what we mentioned with Platinum Bro. This is what kind of brought it up in our minds in the first place. We briefly mentioned there that Silent Hill 2 HD on the PS3, the HD remaster, was significantly harder. It was a 9 or 10 out of 10 game. You had to do a 10-star run, which involved, again, counting your melee kills, counting your range kills, counting your items you picked up, doing your boat crossing under a very short amount of time, which is also a trophy for, but people even tell you to save that trophy for that run, just so you know you've done it without having to think of, have I done that in time or not, or should I go do it again and reload a save? I think you've got limited saves too, so you've got to save at certain points. There's so much to track, and it's so convoluted. I adore Silent Hill 2, one of my childhood games, but I won't do it because I don't feel like I have the mental capacity to enjoy the experience, and I know I will not, and I think you should enjoy trophy hunting. And some people will love that much complexity. I think it's horrible for me, and I won't do it, but that's fine because I'm not destined to earn that platinum. But at the same time, Silent Hill 2 Remake came out. Looks absolutely beautiful. Can't wait to play it. It's on the service, now we can. Problem is, it's like a, 2, 3 out of 10, Brady?
Can't remember what it is, but it's significantly easier. I don't even think it's a 5. I think it's like maybe a 4 at most. It's so criminal. Like Steve said, he's not destined to get that platinum because he doesn't think he'll ever be able to put himself through that. But Silent Hill 2 was kind of like a badge of honor. If you put yourself through that hell, which only got harder if you did unlock some of those trophies that help be kind of like signposts to you to completing some of those 10-star run like milestones, you've went through one of the probably most hellish experiences on the platform for a trophy. And that is, you deserve that platinum. That's a badge of honor that you can wear proudly. And they've just took that away. They've took that beauty away in the remake, which I don't understand. I'll never understand, because all the fundamental stuff's still in there in the game, but they've just took this out.
I mean, I will say, I am conflicted on it, because Silent Hill 2 Remake is too easy. I would have preferred at least doing a hard mode or with like limited things and stuff, so you had some challenge there. It's got to the point where it's too easy for me now, to where I'm sure I'll enjoy the game, but I won't even think about the trophies. Whether the platinum pops or not, I won't really care, because it's too easy. It's a non-concern to me at this point. While the other one's way too above and beyond. I don't mind a 9 out of 10 game, but when it's so much to keep track of, it's just too much for me. Bushido, for example, I think he even made a video on it at the time. He smashed that, and he earned it, as you say. I'm sure I could do it, no problem. But I would hate the process, and that's the important thing there. It's not for me as a gamer, as something I would enjoy. Therefore, it's like, I could do it, but I would hate it. Therefore, why would I do that? You're not supposed to earn a platinum you would hate. You're supposed to hunt platinums you'd enjoy. Whether they're hard, Vanquish, that was really hard for me. Guess what? I did it because I enjoy the game still, and I really wanted to conquer that. Nothing to do with the fact that I was like, right, if I hated that game, I would never have gone for the platinum on that, despite how hard it was. That's the entire point there. So it's a case where I think this new one's too easy, and I am heavily disappointed in that. Again, game will be brilliant. It won't affect the game quality. But it's not a game where you're going to go, right, I got the Silent Hill 2 Remake Platinum, yay! Nah, it's not going to be there. Like, yeah, that's just another tick. And, I mean, you've got an issue with Persona 5 as well, I believe, when it comes to that as well.
Yeah. Everyone knows I love Persona. Everyone knows I love Atlus, and I always will love Atlus and all their games. But this trend has infected my holy sanctuary that is Atlus games. Persona has never been a hard game. It's never been a hard platinum. Time-consuming, never hard. But that's part of the beauty, part of the journey, part of the magic. Persona 5 Royale brought a very dark tide to the franchise, to Atlas games in general, in my opinion. And it's perfect for this topic. They've removed some of the core elements of the game and the Platinum experience that made it so memorable, in my opinion. Just to make it easier for casual gamers out there who didn't like putting in the time investment, didn't want to have 200 plus hours for a Platinum, and just wanted to have it done and move on and not have to do multiple playthroughs. It's a crime. It's just a straight up crime, because like there's so many parts of the game now, so many parts of the lore, the story, they will never see. Never see. Because if they're only in there for the Platinum, that's it. This guy is one of those people that will never see these things. He told me that he was going to do Persona 5, but he was going to start with Royale. And we had a full-scale argument about he's going to miss so much because he was just going to go away and get the Platinum and then walk away. And I was like, you're going to miss so much. So much of the beauty of this world. And it's just...
He's got a fair point.
It's a sin.
And I did do that. It was a few years ago, keep in mind. If it was today, I probably would do the opposite. I've always seen the Royale or the Goldens as a complete package, just like the Persona 3 game, Reload. So I would always play those because I'm like, right, I'm getting the best package, right? But as Brady argued with me, I should have played the original Persona 5 before playing Royale. Or at least if I skipped Royale entirely and just played Persona 5. But again, I was in the mindset of, well, this is easier. Why would I play that? I like a challenge, but with these type of games, I just want to take my time. I don't know, I'm weird. When I played Persona 3 Reload, I played it on the hardest difficulty. I don't think you need to for anything. It's an easy Platinum. But I decided to play it on the hard mode anyway, which was definitely punishing, as Crimson will attest. But that's just my crazy brain.
Some of the things, just for a bit of context, that they took out from the original Platinum experience into Royale was they took out the need for the completion of the compendium. And that's still a thing. And even in Persona 3 Reload, you still don't need to complete the compendium. That's fundamentally just wrong. Like, going through the compendium, experiencing all the personas, doing all the fusions, even getting the best possible fusions, that's part of what made Persona. You got to see all these brilliantly designed creatures that you would use to fight. And the fact that that's not needed anymore is a crime. It's just a sin. A collectible that made the game what it was in my eyes. Another thing that they got rid of was maxing all the social links, which... yeah, don't become friends with the people who give you power in the game. Don't ever experience that. Max one of them, move the hell on. That's all you need to do. Yeah, such a smart decision. I'm so glad that they realized how stupid that was when it came to Reload and put that trophy back in, because I was very goddamn angry whenever I originally seen that gone from the game.
He was, and guess what? He still hasn't played Persona 3 Reload either. I mean, the trend is continuing here.
That was purposely because I was waiting for episode Aegis to come out. And I do have a fundamental problem with that game, which is technically related to this topic. They made the game stupidly easy. Persona 3, historically, was where you went when you wanted to have a hard Persona game. Persona 3 and Persona 3 FES, god damn, those were difficult. The amount of game overs you would get, out of this world. They made Reload so easy. Press X.
Well,
You'll be fine.
It wasn't press X, but when you saw me playing it and first time on Persona 3...
You played it on the hardest difficulty.
Yeah, and you said...
That's the difference.
Yeah, but even then you were saying to me, you're like, this looks way too easy. You should not be able to be... I forgot what you can kill me if you want. I've forgotten what the other world's called in that game, and it's also hurting me when you go...
Tartarus?
Tartarus, that's it. When you go to Tartarus, I was staying down there, as you remember, for very long periods of time, trying to get the most out of it. And you were like, you should not be able to be down there this long. Especially when you don't know anything about the game.
They removed a lot of fundamental mechanics that made that game hard and added in this really stupid thing that I really hope vanishes, Fuijis.
Ah, yes.
They need to go.
I liked them, but yeah.
They looked nice, they were pretty, they were nice. Too goddamn powerful.
They are overpowered, yeah, I will admit. On the same topic, Liza P. You've heard me gush about it so many times. The game was made easier. The original one is, I think, Relentless Stalker or something. It's got a weird-ass name for its difficulty. And it even tells you this is the original difficulty intended for you to play the game on. But they added the story mode, which you really can't die on, and an easy mode, which is slightly harder. They added this so people could play it, which I'm all for, right? I think game accessibility is brilliant. People should be able to do it. But it doesn't affect the trophy. So it took the game from, as a trophy guide might say, from an 8 or 9 out of 10 down to like a 3. Because you can just walk through Lies of P now, which I don't necessarily agree with on a trophy standpoint. And they made see-through easier in a similar way. And even Gears of War counts, because seriously, it used to be only ranked matches, and it used to be really hard to get. And then technically on this current version we've got Reloaded, you can essentially just boost it in private if you really want to get to 10,000 kills online. So it removes that challenge, and like Brady was saying earlier, that badge of honor from these trophies. And I kind of don't like that to an extent. I don't mind people playing the game and having accessibility to it, but I don't think trophies should be easy, but we'll talk about that more shortly.
Before I move on to another game franchise, like I mentioned during the interview with Platinum Bro, there's 3 fundamentals to gaming that I think, which goes with the accessibility side. Every game should be playable by everyone. Every game should be at least completable by everyone. Just completed, basic completion. However, because those first 2 things exist, doesn't mean every platinum, every 100%, and every completionist needs to be obtainable by everyone. That third one's important. Just because a game's accessible doesn't mean the damn platinum, 100%, name it here, that doesn't need to be there for you or for everybody there. Accessibility is a different thing.
I completely agree. It comes down to the point of where it'd be nice if every game was accessible to everyone. I think there's some games that are always fundamentally not able to be accessible. If you look at a game like Super Meat Boy or Crash Bandicoot, those are games where it'd be really hard for people to play that if they've got sight impairment. Like Last of Us is brilliant for that. There's a guy, I've forgotten his second name, I feel so sorry, I think he's called Steven as well, who is a blind gamer. He's like really low vision, but he can play The Last of Us because of all the accessibility features, which is brilliant. But some games like Super Meat Boy and stuff with a frantic, fast-paced action, I don't see how they could play a game like that, unfortunately. So it's good that as many accessible games are around, the better for people, but I don't think every game will have that in the end. There's some games are just impossible for that to happen. But trophies and achievements are always there to stamp what you've done in a game and what you've overcome. And unfortunately, not everyone's entitled to an achievement or a trophy. Because if anyone can get them, they literally become participation trophies. Literally. Which is the entire point. That is why if you have a competition at school, like a race, and there's 10 people there, if you're giving a medal to every single kid down the line, they're not going to have a sense of improving themselves. Or I want to get better, I want to get faster, I want to be on that podium, I want to get stronger, faster, smarter. They're not going to have that drive to improve and to get better results from life.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen, which is a problem. If you go, oh yes, you came 10th place, but you did great, here's a medal. I've never agreed with that standpoint in anything, and that's what happens with trophies as well. If you make them all that easy to where it's like, you can play the game on story mode even though this is a Souls-like and it's a brutal game, but you can get the platinum just by completing it doesn't matter. Or you can play Super Meat Boy, but you can do it on story mode and you'll get every trophy in platinum. I just don't believe in that. There's some things you've got to earn. Who here watching and us wants to be a millionaire? I'm sure quite a lot of us would like the money. We're not going to get it. Yeah. Not a lot of us, because guess what? You've got to be lucky, and you've got to put the grind in, and a lot of grind. And most of us will never get that, no matter how much grind we put in. That just means we are not going to earn it. Simple as that. No matter how hard we try, and that's fine. That's life. We don't all get a Lamborghini. We don't all get $1 million. We don't all get a bloody whatever. It's just part of life. So trophies are the least of the concern, but we're not going to get everything. It's just how it works. And I believe you should earn things in games and in life. And if you can't earn a trophy, like I will not do Silent Hill 2, that's fine. You just got to say, hands up in the air, I can't do it. Fine, fair enough. Whether it's accessibility or skill.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter. But yeah, you were going to mention another franchise there before I butted in.
No, you didn't put it in. It was absolutely fine. Perfect segue. Anyway, another franchise like we were talking about earlier on, and again, near and dear to my heart. So near and dear to my heart. Resident Evil. These games are starting to become goddamn trivial when it comes to the platinum trophies. And I'm not a fan of that at all. At all. It used to be that you needed to earn your infinite ammo upgrades, your infinite ammo guns, your powerful guns, the things that they were a reward because you either performed so damn well in the game and got like an S rank or something, and you were given that reward for doing that, for performing that feat, or for speedrunning it within a certain amount of time. Here's your reward. Have at it. You just went through hell. Have a little fun with an infinite ammo rocket launcher and blow everything to smithereens. Yeah, that kind of thing doesn't exist anymore because it's become a trend to, hey, you don't want to do it this way? Cool. Here's the DLC. Give me money, you can have this gun. Give me money, you can have this unlock. You don't have to actually unlock it in the game anymore. Which then leads to you trivializing some of the hardest difficulty runs and hardest trophies that the games have to offer, which you can do from day one, which aggravates me even more. And we have someone who committed that grave sin right here.
I know, man.
Having the child's play. Steve can attest to this with his sinful experiences of Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes.
He did do that. It was appalling. I remember it was brutal to watch. He went on the PlayStation Store and Crimson bought that pack. Just blasted through the game. It was a sight to see. I see you twitching there. You all right?
Still sickens me that he did it.
Hey, no.
Still sickens me that he did it.
In my defense, yes, I did. On Resident Evil 2, to dive in for a quick 30 seconds, I did, on the PS4 version, I played it legit all the way through, and then I saw the pack on sale for like 79 pence, or 79 cents in America, to get the rocket launcher unlocked, which you had to do like a hardcore S-rank run to get originally. And I used that to get my hardcore S-rank trophies or whatever it was at the time. And yes, I did feel incredibly dirty. That's why when I got the PS5 version, I did it legit all the way through. And I was like, yeah, just to prove a point. I think I made it harder. I've mentioned it before somewhere. I can't remember how I did it, but I made it harder on myself just to make up for that. Resident Evil 3, yes, you can unlock it through in-game points, the rocket launcher. And I did do it, and I used it for my Insanity run, whatever it's called. And guess what? I don't care, because that game is a pile of shit and disrespectful to the original Resident Evil 3. So I don't give two peanuts or capybaras about that. But
it's still sinful, but yeah, that game of all games.
There's no clock tower.
And luckily, he did promise me, he swore to me that he wouldn't do it with Resident Evil 4 remake. And if he does, I know where he lives.
No comment. To move on from Resident Evil, Diablo titles, right, are also a great example in my opinion. Diablo 3 and 4, rather easy games. I think we'll all agree. They take a bit of time, but they're rather easy, especially if you've got someone who can boost you up. However, we all know how the classic game Diablo 2 is, which is very hard. They do say on the guide it's like 1,000 hours. They say it's like 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. And that's mainly because you've got to complete the game on hell mode, which is really hard. But that's not a bad thing. You've got to get a character to level 99, but not just any character, a hardcore character, which means if you die due to anything, and that game is extremely easy to die into, you can walk around a corner and get one shot by a bloody mage across the map or something. It's like, well, yeah, a floating eyeballs just killed me. I've just lost 200 hours of time and I've got to start again. Because yeah, if you die, it's all over. Which means you've got to do that again from the start. You can do it offline, I think, and kind of cheese your upload save, but it'll take you so much longer to do, probably extra 1,000 hours, who knows, it's a lot slower, as opposed to the online methods, but then you have the risk of dying. That is an example of, again, a game I couldn't do. I wouldn't have the patience for it, and I would make some stupid mistake and die. And to the point where I'll play the game, but I'm not going for that, hell no. But anyone who's done it, I respect them to the core, because that is a massive achievement in its literal terms. But guess what? I'm not entitled to it. Therefore, I'm not going to go, oh, I wish it was easier. Or even like Mein Leben. Perfect example of a super impressive feat of dedication. I still haven't done it. I mean, I was literally saving my red controller here, which you can barely see. I was saving that because I had no stick drift for it. And then when my other one got too bad, I started using this, and I'm pretty sure Sony controllers, we all know, this is getting stick drift. So I'm going to have the same issue. I'll probably have to get a new controller when I finally go back to Mein Leben. Or just suck it up and get, destroyed a million times.
Get good.
Yeah, get good. Yeah, doesn't matter. Stick drift times a million, doesn't matter. Get good. Skill issue. But yeah, it's a brilliantly hard game. It's so enjoyable, addictive. And if you do it legit, hats off to you. Absolutely insane game. But if that was easy, would anyone bat an eye to start on your list? Like, wow, you've done Mein Leben. Like, yeah, man, it was horrible, but that was a good experience. I finally conquered it. You're proud of yourself, and people might be impressed that you've done it because we all like looking at each other's achievements in life and going, yeah, that's crazy, man. GG. But if it was a cakewalk, would anyone care about Mein Leben? No. If you could back your save up even, just something as simple as that, no one would care. And that's the entire point. Or Crypto Necrodancer, no one would care if it was an easy, short-term thing. So removing the prestige, as we said, from these things makes a big difference. Now, of course, they haven't done that, but more games are going down the route. There's still hard games appearing, but there is more games now where it's easy plat. And
a perfect game to think of, though, when you were talking about those, and I do apologize for interrupting. It is a game that was a badge of honor, but now nobody ever claims it as a badge of honor. Hollow Knight. The game, overall, is difficult. The trial or the gauntlet, or I can't remember what it is, but that one trophy that's really difficult where you have to beat everything in the game, essentially, in the run. That was a badge of honor. You did that. Hats off. You did something that a lot of people in the world can't do. Then invincibility mode came along, and now everyone that gets that platinum, nobody bats an eyelash because they're like, you activated invincibility, didn't you? That platinum's trivial now. Even if you do it legit, you'll know you did it. The rest of the world won't give a damn.
Yeah. And that's all that matters in the end, is that you know you've done it. There's that personal pride, but like you say, there's always that bit of shred where people are going to say, yeah, but did you do it? You earned it like in 2025. Did you do that legit? And you're like, yeah, I did it. Like, uh-huh. Some will believe you, some won't. And then it's kind of like, dude, I shouldn't have to justify myself to someone online. If you're looking at my profile, It's up to you if you think something is impressive or not. But at the same time, it's a bit annoying to have to justify something like that in the first place. And you might think, oh, who's going to look at someone's profile and really ask them that? Come on. It's the internet. You know it's like. People do it all the time. So it's not something where, the everyday person won't do it, but someone will. And all it takes is someone to do that, and then someone gets in an argument with someone back and forth, and yeah, there you go. I mean,
let's face it, some of you watching this video right now probably did it to somebody.
Potentially.
I could see the guilt in your eyes.
But I mean,
I can see it.
Don't get me wrong. I've done it myself, kind of, not in a bad way, but mein Leben, again, I think you should do that legit way without skipping. People use skips. I think it's their right to use skips. If they want to use skips, they're perfectly fine doing it. I've got no problem. The developers didn't fix it, so it's their problem. My personal pride for that is I must do it without using any skips, because I see that as doing it the complete proper way as the intended developers wanted it to be done. But at the same time, if someone says they've done it and they've skipped like a lot of levels, I'm like, GG, it's still impressive because there's a lot harder stuff after that. But there's always a chance you might have died on one of those levels that you've skipped. And if you had died there, that run you did it on, you might not have succeeded because that might not have happened. It's timey-wimey, all different realities. So that's why I'm like, But again, I usually don't really try and judge people too much because, I've got a lot to be judged as well. But I mean, yeah, to close up my thoughts on this entire thing.
He does.
Stop talking about my penis. To close on this, in my opinion, my final thoughts is if every game was, say, a 1 out of 10, and the platinum was an automatic feature where you got to the end of the game, you did it, platinum, it's over. With no difficulty mindset to them, with no problem solving, with no, go out of your way to do something different in your gameplay or choose a different story path to try and get these trophies to make you experience more of the game. If that wasn't there, I mean, Pacific Drive is a perfect example. It makes you do stuff for a few trophies, which is contradictory to the play style of the game and how you'd play it, and I thought that was rather fun. If that wasn't a thing and all of them were just automatic, every game you completed, you get the plat, I wouldn't care about trophies or achievements anymore. I'd be like, you know what? I don't care. Who cares about them? At that point, they'd be dead to me at that stage. That's why I'm hoping it never gets that bad, because I love the hobby of trophy and achievement hunting. I always have since 2006, and I would just hope it doesn't go anywhere near that level. But I don't know what your final thoughts are, Brady Barra, before we get into the community.
My final thoughts is simple. We haven't really touched on this, but there's probably a lot of you have already wrote comments now thinking that we're just gatekeeping trophy hunting, gatekeeping achievements because we like things to be difficult. We just think it needs to be our way or the highway. Absolutely not. We've said this many times to friends, family, lovers, haters, anyone that knows us. We've said, yeah, we enjoy a nice, easy game. We've mentioned plenty of them that we love. My time at Sandrock, I mentioned how much I love it. Medieval, I recommend it to all you guys as a game you should play. Pacific Drive. We could go on all day on the games that we've mentioned. They're not hard. But there are a lot of us out there that do like to be challenged. Trophy hunting and difficulty in games can actually improve you as a person. Your reaction time, your perception, your problem solving, things that you will use in real life situations. These can all get better through these games that are a little bit more difficult, that make you have to think a little bit more, have to come back and try again another day.
Fully agree.
The iconic one that we didn't mention, Lion King on the Sega. That was no goddamn kid game. That was no goddamn kid game. That was difficult. I never completed it. It's something I will complete someday, but I never completed that. And look at it now. People use cheats to get through it. And they're like, oh, I completed one of the games that was the hardest game in history back in the day. You did, and you cheated it. That's where I will openly judge you. You cheated it. But we're not gatekeeping. We just want there to be accessibility for you, but also still difficulty for people like us. We want the option. Not just the option to turn the difficulty up, but to get a couple of platinums that not everyone can get. That we have to actually work for a little bit. And is that really so much to ask for? For everyone to be happy, not just what people these days would call the casual gamer.
I mean, I have always said that, again, platinums are a passport system. You get easy ones, you get hard ones, you get medium, you get long ones. It's all about documenting your history, and like you say, some people like a challenge. Sarah, for example, she loved Hogwarts Legacy. She's technically completed it 5 times over, 6 times over. She's played it, I believe, on normal. She doesn't like easy because it's too easy. But she doesn't like playing games on hard. She likes the normal baseline experience. That's what she enjoys. She doesn't find the enjoyment out of getting... Like, I played Hogwarts Legacy. Well, I played of it. I've not completed it. Shocker. The parts I did play, I played on the hardest mode, and I got my ass kicked a lot. And it was infuriating at times. And Sarah was like, see, that's why I don't play on that. And I'm like, I understand. I can see how this will be annoying to some people. For me, I enjoyed that. Sometimes. But, you know, sometimes there's just some, like, pleasure in overcoming the odds like that, and that's what I really enjoy. So it's a hard one. There's always going to be arguments for both sides. It's just, this is our opinion, and it's kind of fluid, as you can see. It goes up and down in peaks, and we obviously want to hear what your opinions are. I'm sure they're already down there, but if there isn't, put them down there. But we are going to get into what the community thought about this on our Discord server. Link is in the description down below if you want to join it. We always ask people questions ahead of time for the main topic so you can get your feedback. So we're going to get into it. The first one is by Kenzie. I think Platinum's again easier in my opinion. I remember getting the plat for Persona 5 Royale, and I was told that the plat for the original Persona 5 was way harder, for you had to complete the compendium and I believe get all confidants completed in one playthrough, which in my opinion takes considerable amount of careful planning and management of the days you had between the dungeons. But in Royale, you could muck about after finishing a dungeon and still get it. I have a feeling they're trying to find a balance to making it easier for a younger audience and making it engaging enough for the older audiences, and I don't think they've quite found it yet.
Next up, we've got Sam, who said, I never mind it when it's too easy, because I still like to do all the hard parts that got left out regardless, to do the best of my ability at the very least. And yes, that is a very good point. You can still do things optionally and choose to do them, but, using the example of Persona, if things were in the original games and they were hard, and they were difficult to do but achievable, why remove them just because it takes a bit more time or it's a little bit harder?
And Hectoid came in with, personally, I think Shovelware Platinum should be banned as they devalue the effort others put in. After that, easy/hard Platinums have always been there. When trophies/achievements arrived on the PS3 and Xbox, developers wanted to make players work for their Platinum or 100%, a big grind for multiplayer trophies, i.e. Gears of War, but also keep players entertained due to a quieter games market. Now devs, I think, have realised that times have changed and that some in the gaming community won't play a game if the trophy list is too hard, and that there's such a large number of games out there that players don't have the time to invest in grinding out multiplayer trophies or getting good to secure a Wolfenstein 2 permadeath run before they move on to the next game, maybe in their backlog.
After that mouthful of a comment, next up we've got Dr. Doom, who had simply to say, fact Steve, Wolf 2 wouldn't be regarded as legendary. I love that I get the easy ones to read.
Oh, I'm sure you do, while the illiterate one here has to read massive comments. And that leads into Topher, who says, Platinums are too easy nowadays. When was the last proper 10 out of 10 to be released? Platinum should not be achievable by absolutely everyone. I like a chill, easy platinum, as it allows me to relax after a long day at work. However, I never shy away from a challenge. That feeling you get when you earn a challenge in platinum is unrivaled. The only reason I haven't attempted Wolf 2 yet is because I don't have 2.5 to 3 hours I can sit and play uninterrupted. I recently played the Silent Hill 2 remake and, whilst I enjoyed the game, the platinum experience was far too easy. Thankfully, I've got the original and I will go for the platinum at some point to truly experience the game as intended. Respect, Scotsman, respect.
Next up, we've got Reyna, who actually touched on a subject that we mentioned earlier. Only Sony IPs. There are plenty of difficult games out there that are released regularly. I would argue that Wolf 2 is not a difficult plat, but rather an achievable plat that takes time to learn. This should be the norm. People these days are too accustomed to just getting anything, which IMO, I'm reading this as it is, IMO, is the reason for all these assist modes and easy modes these days.
Very well said, Rayner. We do agree with that. And then Heather came in with, short answer, yes. I think Platinum trophies should mark actual achievement for completing the game. I get that a lot of things have been toned down for accessibility, especially in the Sony first-party games, but I don't think Platinum should be watered down to the degree that they have been. E.g., if a game has difficulty modes, then you should have a trophy for completing it on the highest difficulty, and it should be a requirement for the Platinum. Not saying every game needs to be hard as nails 10 out of 10 difficulty, but most games that come out now are barely over 3 out of 10. I don't see many new entries in the 6 to 8 out of 10 range anymore.
Next up, we've got This Dad's Platinum Journey. I really do enjoy that name every time I see it. Going through the generations, i.e. PS3 to 4 to 5, I'd say yes in general. When trophies were first introduced, they were much harder, with online trophies included. As trophies settled into the PS4 era, PS Studios in particular standardized the list to make them more accessible to design around 100% completion. Now on the PS5, trophy hunting has become much more widespread, and developers adapt lists to accommodate for the broader audience.
And Becca's Sad Boy comes in with, I think I'm definitely in the minority here, but I don't care if Platinums are getting easier. I think for a lot of the Sony first party ones they are easier, but I don't care as long as they are fun. Difficulty isn't what I get Platinum trophies for. I get them for the fun of seeing all a game has to offer and feeling a level of completion within the game that allows me to move on to the next thing. Maybe this is because before I was a trophy hunter, I mostly 100%ed 3D platformer collectathons where there is some difficulty, but the main goal is just to experience it all.
And with probably my longest comment of the day, we've got good old Grublord himself, Facepalmer. My answer to this is yes, trophies are getting easier, especially since, for the most part, tacked on multiplayer trophies are a thing of the past. For me, I like to do a challenge, but I like to do a chill plot that makes me enjoy everything a game has to offer, and less of a chance of me wanting to throw a controller at a wall in frustration, and to play a game differently. To me, a good medium is having a platinum obtainable for the majority, still providing somewhat of a challenge, especially for those who don't have a lot of time to dedicate to gaming as it is, while you can still provide a challenge with extra trophies for those who would want more. For example, clearing the game on the hardest difficulty, or have a permadeath mode. Seen a few PlayStation IPs have this, The Last of Us being a good example.
And with the final comment, Ray comes in with, Platinums in the mainstream are getting easier and more achievable. The way I look at it, we can take different information out of this. For starters, certain annoyances aren't as prevalent anymore. Look at Infamous 1. I personally want more difficulty in trophy lists now, but how is running around the map spamming the same button for a collectible at all engaging or rewarding? Another thing we can gather from this is that difficulty is too accessible for some games nowadays. Ninja Gaiden Ragebound and Dead Cells both have modes that make the platinum difficulty a joke. I'm not a fan of that. Easy plats have their place, but we have enough of them as it is. There are still tough platinums that still come out nowadays, but it feels like you either have to really dig to find them or they come out rarely. That is a very good point from Ray Baby there. Absolutely, you've got to huddle around the fire of hard platinums these days to potentially find some hard platinums, so I completely get where he's coming from. Next month, however, this long episode is over, finally, is going to be a mystery topic. A mystery, isn't it, Brady?
A big mystery. If you want a sneak peek, join the Discord server, because we will tell you there eventually and ask your opinions. But if you have any topics that you want to hear from us about, leave them in the comments. We're always looking for ideas. But to finish things out, we here at All Vaults Unlocked would like to wish you, your families, loved ones, your capybaras and furry friends a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance.
Hallelujah! Anyway, that's us from All Vaults Unlocked signing out, and we'll see you all next time. 3rd episode down.
See you next year, boys.
Bye!